The first contact was, for me, very impressive because I found persons, I think, with the same mentality as I have. They love football, as I love. They want to win, like I want to win. We have top players, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Porto to win the Champions League has to beat Partizan Belgrade, Real Madrid, Marseille, Olympique Lyon, Manchester United. Again, please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
Some managers talk the talk, but Jose Mourinho, he talked it, he walked it, and won everything in sight. When he walked into Chelsea in 2004 and declared himself the special one, English football had never seen anything like it. This is the story of how Mourinho turned Chelsea into a powerhouse and left a legacy that still echoes through Stamford Bridge. Fresh off of a Champions League win with Porto, Mourinho arrived in London with a swagger and steel. He wasn't here to take part, no. He was here to take over. He was backed by Roman Abramovich's millions and his own tactical genius. Mourinho wasted no time building a wall of blue. Players like Didier Drogba, Ricardo Carvalho, Peter Cech, and numerous other players were brought in to fit his blueprint. Powerful, disciplined, and ruthless. In 2004-2005 season, Chelsea didn't just win the league. No. They steamrolled it. 95 points, 15 goals conceded. A Premier League record. Mourinho's system was absolutely airtight. He had players like John Terry, who led a rock-solid defence, one of the best defenders in the Premier League history. Frank Lampard, who turned into basically a striker because of the amount of goals that he was actually getting from the midfield. We was not used to seeing midfielders scoring at the rate that Frank Lampard had done at Chelsea. The amount of goals that he scored puts him in the top tier list for goal scorers, let alone goal scorers for midfielders. It's absolutely ridiculous what he did whilst he was at Chelsea. And then of course, you've got the menace up front, the absolute nightmare for defenders, and that is Didier Drogba, arguably considered to be at that period of time, especially for a few seasons, once he joined Chelsea, as probably the best, if not top 3 strikers in world football. This guy was absolutely deadly. You could not get the ball off of Drogba. And if you did get the ball off of Drogba, you'd probably regret it later on. What I will say about Chelsea is they weren't always the prettiest team to watch, but they were absolutely unstoppable. And the scariest part about all of this, they did it all again in 2005-2006. In the Premier League, won the Premier League in that 04-05 season, and then also won the League Cup just before they picked up that Premier League trophy. They were a force to be reckoned with, got to the semi-finals of the Champions League in that season, had some brilliant players, on show. And this was really new for the Premier League. And I think this was something that the Premier League had to kind of get used to, because we were so used to the dominance and, the fierce battles with Arsenal and Manchester United. And, we didn't really have that third party, someone who was really going to upset the apple cart. I promise you now, Jose Mourinho and Chelsea did just that. What made Mourinho so different to the other managers? What made him so special? Was it the control? Was it the mind games? Was it the unity? He didn't just coach players, he made them into warriors. Training was intense, tactics were drilled to perfection, but he also created this siege-like mentality, the us against the world. Every win was a battle, every setback a personal mission to fix. That is just how Jose Mourinho was. That was just his vibe. That was his whole aura that he brought to the football club. He allowed for people that needed to express themselves, but he also made it so that you had to come in to work. He made sure the Chelsea players knew and understand what it meant to win. We're not here for games. We're not here for little things. No, we're here to conquer the world. And we're going to do that as a team, as a unit, and as a family. So he created this siege-like mentality for those reasons specifically, because he knew and he understood this was the way to upset the apple cart. As I mentioned before, with José Wenger, with Sir Alex Ferguson, with these kind of managers who, had created this kind of dynasty and this kind of duel, between each other. He needed to come in there and completely eradicate all of that. And he did just that. But as they say, with great power comes great responsibility, and with success came fast, but so did the friction. By 2007, tensions with Roman Abramovich over transfers and control behind the scenes started to grow. Mourinho wanted more power, more say, but when egos clash, something's got to give. And just 3 years after his legendary arrival, the special one was gone. Chelsea fans were stunned, and football had lost a true character. But guess what? He was not finished. Fast forward to 2013, and guess who's back? Back again. Older, wiser, still just as hungry. Mourinho's second spell brought Chelsea another Premier League title in 2015. This time it was led by Eden Hazard and Diego Costa. But again, more drama, and that was kind of the theme of Jose Mourinho's reign. To be honest, it's kind of the theme of his career when you think about all of the drama that's kind of followed him from Manchester United, over to Turkey, in Italy. It's just constant drama after drama, problem after problem. And by 2016, the results, they started to dip a little bit. The dressing room has cracked, and Mourinho is once again out of the football club. But what a second act it was from Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho didn't just bring silverware. No. He changed the DNA at Chelsea. He turned them from nearly men into winners, from underdogs into an absolute dynasty, feared all around Europe. He built a culture, of ambition that still lives in the club today. This is the reason why Chelsea fans of today have the high standards that they do have. It's because of Jose Mourinho. 2 stints, 3 Premier League titles, and countless of unforgettable moments. Listen, you can say what you want about Jose Mourinho, but one thing is clear: he wasn't just the special one, he was Chelsea's chosen one. That, ladies and gents, was the story of Chelsea's Jose Mourinho, a reign of dominance, drama, and destiny. If you love reliving this legendary era, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a deep dive just like this. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know, was Mourinho the greatest Premier League manager of his era, or was he just good marketing? Let's talk about it. Let me know, man. Thanks for watching, and remember, form is temporary, but Mourinho's Chelsea, yeah, that was permanent.